Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar on exploring the business benefits of SharePoint by Emtech. I'm Jasmine, the Digital Marketing Manager at Emtech. Emtech is a modern technology solutions organization. We have been catering the technology needs for over 29 years. Our solution vertical includes IT infrastructure solutions, cloud solutions, cybersecurity solutions, managed IT service, web application solution, digital learning solution, and SharePoint services. We are also ISO, TRA, CIRA, and MCC certified company. Today we have Pooja Nair, SharePoint division head at Emtech, and Anjali Ojha, consultant at Emtech. They will discuss on benefits of SharePoint for an organization and showcase the use cases, relevant examples, and site pages in SharePoint. Over to you, Anjali and Pooja.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for the introduction. Hello and welcome everyone on today's session and on SharePoint. I welcome every one of you and thank you so much for joining us today. I hope I'm audible and I hope you can gain a lot of knowledge which our presenter will be, sharing from her experience. Basically, as the webinar suggests, it's a benefits, you will be understanding the benefits of SharePoint. Um, Eventually, there's a point wherein, we'll start up with, as Jasmine said, that we will explain you how SharePoint can be beneficial for you, how we create sites, how do we use SharePoint to the fullest, not only restricting to ourselves using in collaborating and sharing files and organizing folders and files in our organization, but also automate few of the processes which are done manually in your organization currently using Power Automate and Power Apps. Okay, and we will also be sharing you some use cases which we have developed for automating few processes on SharePoint. And I have with me Anjali, who will be the speaker for the day and who has an experience of more than 5 years, and she's working with Emtech as a SharePoint consultant and implementer. Also, I would like to brief the structure how the webinar will go today is like Anjali will share her screen and the presentation, and she will explain how SharePoint sites are created and how Power Automate can be useful for a few of the processes. Some use cases definitely we will showcase as a case study, and following which we will follow a Q&A session for last 20 minutes where you can ask questions and we can take up all your questions and try to answer those. If in case a detailed discussion requirement is there, we can have a one-on-one session later. But this webinar is basically to have a business benefit of SharePoint and a quick introduction on SharePoint and how it will be beneficial for your organization. Over to you, Anjali. I hope everyone can, maybe you can share your screen, maybe they will confirm. And if in case you have any questions, you can raise your hands and we'll take up questions one by one in the last 20 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have gained some knowledge after the session. Thank you. Also adding to that point, we will have some poll questions in between the slides, just to make the session more interactive. It will be a basic questions based on SharePoint and the discussions which we're having right now. So it will be popping up on your screen while we do the poll question launch, and you guys can answer those. And the results will be anonymous, so you don't have to worry about the results. It will be just displaying as anonymous percentages. So I hope you guys can engage yourself in answering those poll questions, which will be helping you engage and understand more about SharePoint. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll mute myself now. Over to you, Anjali.
So hello everyone. Good morning. I'll be proceeding with the webinar session now. So just in case if you have question, you can raise your hand also, or else we can take the question at the end as per your feasibility. Okay, and we, as Pooja said, we already have a poll question. So let's just begin into SharePoint presentation. Okay, so I'll be just covering what all are the agendas today. So first is what is SharePoint. We'll learn about what are the features of SharePoint, how we can get started with it, what are the different site collection, site and subsite, exactly what SharePoint hierarchy consists of, what are the different types of SharePoint sites. Then we have different templates in SharePoint. We will cover that, and then we will learn how to customize our SharePoint site. What are the use cases of the SharePoint site? SharePoint consists of libraries and list and site content. So I'll just give you a brief of all that thing. We have calendar list and calendar overlays in SharePoint. What exactly does it do? Then how we can manage the permission in SharePoint platform, and what are people in groups, what exactly does it refer in SharePoint platform, what are the different type of permission which SharePoint provides out of the box, how we can control compliance and security when using SharePoint platform, SharePoint, how it act as a document management system and what are its advantages as a DMS platform. Later we'll see what are the benefit of a SharePoint to the organization in order to manage data and business operations. And last part would be automation of SharePoint using Power Automate. And we will definitely show you one or two flow examples and one or two site pages also, just to get an insight of exactly how it looks like. And then we'll have a focused Q&A session for the last 15 minutes. Okay, so I'll just start with SharePoint deep dive. But as you all have joined, so let's start with first poll question. The poll question will come now on your screen. Please feel free to answer it, and then we will start with our webinar. I hope you can see the question on your screen. Please answer that question as per your information. I mean, just give. We want to know our audience exactly what level of SharePoint knowledge are they already aware of. So we'll provide 1 or 2 minutes for the same. Kindly answer this question, and then we will proceed with the next slide. Answering to your question, Rosella, we will be able to have the recording of this call later for our future reference. I think Pooja would answer that question. So yes, we have received the responses. The poll is closed. So I believe many of you are having an introductory and the intermediate level of the SharePoint platform. So let's just start with the SharePoint platform, exactly what it is, since many of you are already aware of it. So let me just get into the deep dive of SharePoint platform. So SharePoint, when we talk about SharePoint, as the name suggests, share and a point. That means a point where you can share all the information which you can, then manage and organize and discover and build different applications from that platform itself. So Microsoft provides this application as it provides the other application like Outlook and Teams in their Office 365 suite, which they use this platform to, in order to store, organize information and access information from any device. The basic idea of using a SharePoint platform is using the platform anywhere, everywhere. So it means that whenever I want any information, all I need is a credential, login credential, and my website. I just have to go to their website, log in, and just have my repository ready for me. the entire necessity to use a SharePoint platform involves only few things. That is, first is web connection. You need to have an internet connection and an internet browser. It is compatible with all the browsers, so you do not have to worry about the browser compatibility. You can either use Microsoft Edge, IE, Chrome, or Firefox. Any browser it is compatible with it. Okay, so now we talk about SharePoint Online. So SharePoint basically offers two platform. One is on-premise version, and the latest one is the online version. SharePoint is in market from way too long. SharePoint 2007, 10, 13, 16, 19, and the latest is 2020, which is the SharePoint online version. So the difference between the previous SharePoint platform and the current SharePoint platform is that the previous SharePoint platform was the on-prem version. That means that platform will have all its database, all its connection and servers in the office itself, whereas the online version is a subscription-based service, and it is like a software as a service platform. So it is also known as a SaaS platform. So all you need is a subscription, and once you have a subscription, you're good to go. The entire management of database and everything is covered with Microsoft itself, and you do not have to worry about the installation or the setup of SharePoint Online. All you need is you to have a subscription, and that's it. It just provides you readily available the SharePoint platform. So SharePoint basically it's a multifunctional platform for collaborating and have a centralized data storage. And SharePoint provides a lot of benefit, which we'll cover in our next slides. So, talking about what are the features of SharePoint. So, as many of you have the answer the poll question as they have intermediate knowledge of SharePoint. So, going through it is like you can build intranet site, you can create pages, document libraries, and list. You can add web parts to customize your content. What exactly you want to view at the end perspective. If you want to in your organization, if you want news and announcement to be on the top section, some events, some counters to be on the top of the screen, so that information you can explore and add it in your SharePoint portal, which would be helpful for your people inside your organization to access the information on the go. So it even allow you to manage your daily routine when with some of the flows where there are certain processes which are like random guesswork that are eliminated by using or implementing Power Platform in SharePoint platform. So what are those again? We'll cover in the further slides. Talking about just the key feature, these are your key features already listed. It allows you to create pages, libraries, add web content. You can add visual news, and you can socialize your platform by using Twitter handles or using a Yammer section. And then you can have some daily tasks, daily routine which you need to do every day, or you can automate that processes, certain approval matrix which is there already in your organization placed, but many of the time the automation takes place in an email format. So there are chances that the email goes back and forth. So all that thing can be eliminated once we are using SharePoint as a platform in order to automate certain processes. So now getting started with SharePoint. So whenever you want to get started with SharePoint, if you're already having Office 365 subscription, all you need is, I'll quickly show you a demo of how to use the SharePoint platform. So you have this icon in the bottom which is the Office symbol. You have to click on it. The moment you click on it, it will just open the window which just gives you an insight of what all things are there. And sometimes you can find SharePoint platform logo here itself. Just in case if you do not find it over here, all you have to do is you have to type SharePoint, and the moment you have SharePoint, you will have to just click on it. So the moment you click on it, you will be redirected to the landing page of SharePoint. So the moment you are over here, that means you already are into a SharePoint domain. This is the landing page of SharePoint platform, which allows you to traverse to your various site, and you can create a new site, create news post from here itself. Okay, so now um, okay, so now what is a SharePoint site and site connection? So basically, I won't say there is a hard and fast rule that this is a site connection and this is a site. Okay, there's nothing like that. SharePoint site is basic website which has different SharePoint web parts incorporated into it. So you can have news section, you can have announcement section, you can have counter section, you can have a document library, calendar, task list, all that thing which you want to display to the end user. That would be your SharePoint site, where you add all the web parts information to your site and provide access to the user so that they can come to that site and they can know about the site, exactly what all content is there in your site. And when talking about SharePoint site collection, so as the name implies, it's a collection of all the SharePoint site. So you can see in your we have marketing site, we have IT site, we have HR site, and then we have a purchasing site. All those site belongs to one company portal itself. But having a segregated site itself helps you to organize your data. So for example, if you're looking for any data which belongs to HR, so you have a designated HR site itself. So then you do not have to go here and there in order to look for your data. Okay, so that's why these all site combined will form your site collection. Now, there's another term which is known as subsite. So, what exactly is a subsite? So, any site which would have the further site division is known as a subsite. So, any subsite would be residing in one of your site. So, for example, marketing is your site, IT is your another site, HR is another site, and purchasing as again another site. But inside HR also there are a lot of site. For example, there are site for HR policies, there are site for HR documentation. There are information for example, in IT we have different IT section. If you want to do some purchase of IT material, some IT issue, some incident issue, all those will come under IT subsites. So like that way you create one site and the segregation will be like this is your site collection, then this is your site, and this would be your subsite. So the hierarchy flows from parent to the child level, whereas the parent will be the site collection which has all the control over the site. The permissions also flow from parent to the child flow. Okay, and that is how it is segregated. So once you want to know what is a site collection, it is just a collection of all the sites on your SharePoint platform. If we talk what is a site, then site is basically segregation of different information into a different pattern which you would refer as a site. And once you want to know about subsite, so all those site will have again another site residing under it. So those sites are known as a subsite. So as I said, there's no hard and fast rule that this is a subsite and that is a site. All any site which is residing under any other site would be your site. This is basically a hierarchy of how a SharePoint platform is. You can just know it as a SharePoint hierarchy itself. Okay. Then what is a SharePoint site comprises of? So basically SharePoint site, as I said, it's a collection of various pages, lists, libraries, apps, and configuration. So any, like for example, if I consider your HR site collection, it will have employee site and it will have a manager site. Now manager will have its own data. For example, manager will have another site where it has its own calendar, its own document library, its own task list, and the document library will comprise of folder and files. So for example, whenever you all have used your Windows Explorer, your laptop, right? And we have a tendency to create a folder, we have a tendency to create files, and those folders will contain some of the other files. So similar way in SharePoint platform, you can create a document library, and inside the document library, you will create a folder. So for example, I have a project A. Inside that project A, I have some folders like kickoff document, some proposal document, certain presentations related to that document, and then certain data or certain billing information regarding to that document. So all that will come under my library and the content inside will come under my folders and files. So now we'll have quickly another poll question. It would be on your screen. So feel free to answer that poll question. Let's see the results.
So the question goes, what are the different types of SharePoint sites? Team site, you have channel site, you have project site, you have communication site. Quickly, you can toggle on these options and submit your answers and click on submit. Okay, we will close the poll now. Okay, we have got 62 percentage on team side. Now, Anjali, you want to comment on this?
Yeah, so I believe the answers are quite correct, and the audience are definitely aware of what are the types of site in SharePoint platform. So let me quickly jump to different types of SharePoint sites. So all those who have answered project and channel sites, so those are not site actually. By default, SharePoint site provides you two sites that are team sites and communication site. I'll quickly show you the demo also. The moment we were on our landing page, we have option of create site. So the moment we click over here, you will have option of creating a team site and a communication site. So team site, it's like a private space which you can use to collaborate among your team itself. You can, add some team resources, and, you can co-author the content, and people inside your team and everyone can, manage the content and publish the data on this site. Whereas communication site would be a site which involves a lot of engagement from the viewers. So it is like a landing page of your organization, if there are any. So what would you prefer on your landing page is basically having a lot of data, having a lot of content which can be then redirected here and there. So that would be like your communication site. Here, as a name suggests, communication site, it has provided you information which says that engage dozens or thousands of viewers. So like many people can come to that particular site and have can view the content inside it, and the site would have a lot of visitors. That means they'll have read access, and the only few content author, as it suggests. So it means that only few people would be responsible to create a content inside a communication site, whereas rest of them would be the visitors. So by default, it has provided you only two options, like team site and the communication site. Even team sites are the sites which are created once you create any channel or any team in your team's app also. So you can, the moment you are on your landing page, if you click on create site, you have a model window open, which just gives you an option of selecting team site and communication site options over here itself. And you would be redirected to the Microsoft page where it explains you in detail exactly what all team sites or communication sites are. We'll also show you how to create a site, and, what we can use once we are creating a site. So for example, if I want to create a communication site, so what exactly your Microsoft provides a lot of what you can say checks at its end itself. So for example, if I'm typing the name as site name as test, so it will verify, it will check that the site name is address is available, but it is available with modification. So what it does mean is there are some site which is known as test. So for example, let me just type test AO. So I believe this site is available, but again with some modification, because it has there's already a site name as Testio. So it won't allow you to, it would suggest you to create another site with another name. So for example, if I'm creating with Testio2, so it says that the site address is available, and then it provides you site description. What exactly your site does, you can provide a description over here. You can select a language from here itself. There are a lot of language which it provides from its end itself, and then you have option to finish. So the moment you finish it, the site would be created, and it hardly takes a minute or so to create an entire site at the back end, and it by default provides a template, and then you have a option to browse templates, which we would be covering in our next slides. Okay, this just covers about what exactly are team sites and the communication site. And then templates, as I was saying, as you saw, whenever I created a site, it provides me an option of creating a template. So template is just like a blueprint of a site or a page. So SharePoint by default provides a lot of templates that have pre-populated content. Some templates will have different segregation of data, and you can use it as per your organization's requirements. So if your organization prefer to have news and announcement at the top, if your organization prefer to have some tip of the day at the top, you can use it. You can use those template. You can customize those template. You can rearrange those template according to your requirement. Then it provides two templates. One is site template and one is page template. The basic difference among these two templates are, as the name suggests, it's a site. So site means a page where, a communication site where you would be accommodating all the web parts as per your requirement. And a page template would be a page. So it means that in your site, you would have a lot of news and announcement, or you will have a lot of communication pages. So all those pages you can customize it. Sorry. All those pages you can customize it, and you can create certain template. You can create some data or some documentation with that template also. Okay, so by default, page templates are like 3 template they provide out of the box. Give me a minute, I'll just have- Yeah, so by default, it provides 3 templates in SharePoint. One is blank, one is visual, and one is basic text. You can see from here itself, blank means the complete blank template, which can create according to your requirement. The other is a visual one. So this has a lot of data, as in you would have a lot of visual content and then a lot of data also. So it basically, as per your requirement, you can select any template. If like you are in a rush and you do not want a lot of data, or you want a pre-prepared template and you can just have to put your data into it and good to go, so you would prefer to have a visual template where images are already selected. You can change those images in the background, just in case if you require to, if you don't want a scenic beauty, if you want something which is related to your computer, or it's some information regarding your files and folders. So you can have a image at the background according to your requirement. You can add some title, you can add some content, what exactly this page tells you about. And the last one is the basic text, which actually has only one image on the top, and the rest everything is a textual format, and it is divided and split in a manner which you can use it according to your requirement. So let me quickly jump to show you exactly uh, the templates are. Yeah. So the moment, as you see, whenever when I created my site, it asked me an option to browse template. So you can choose it as maybe later, or you can select browse template at a time. These options are available in your settings bar. It's over here, gear wheel. We call it as a gear wheel. So if I click on browse template, you have a lot of template option which it provides by default, from Microsoft and from your organization. So if your organization has created any site template which is according to your branding or according to your site requirement, if there are any branding which is by default created by your organization, and your organization impose it to use it for any page or any site creation, you can use those template. Or else Microsoft provides a vivid range of templates, and you have a blank template also. So the moment you select a blank template, it would be like a plain blank page, and you have to customize it. You have to add the web parts into it. All those customization needs to be done from your end. And the other templates which Microsoft provides, as you can see, are volunteers, topic, showcase, new employee onboarding, crisis management, department, leadership, learning central, any template, whatever would be your requirement. So for example, if I want to select a showcase template, so it even just gives you a preview of the template. So you can have just a look of it, exactly what it is, and you're good to go. And the moment if I have decided, okay, this is the template I want to use, so I'll just click on use template, and you will see it hardly takes few seconds to deploy that template in your on your page which you have created. Okay, so you can see the template has already been deployed, and now you can edit the page and you can customize the template as per your requirement. If you have certain images which is reflecting your organization story, you can add it over here itself. And then there are certain links which it provides by default. You can click on it and you can get redirected to those pages also. So as I explained you, the main site would have a lot of template, a lot of pages. So if you click over here, it would be redirected to another page, and those pages can be customized by using, page template. So going back to our demo. Okay. So now site templates, I have already explained there are like 3 templates: communication site template, teams template, and from your organization. So communication site templates and teams template, and the moment you select the site, that option appears over here, over there itself. And from your organization are those template which is like defined by your organization in order to have, a particular branding to be implemented across all the sites in your organization. So if your organization has a lot of department, a lot of projects running, and they want a different site to be created, and all those site need to have a proper branding solutioning. So that needs to be done and created from your organization template. That means the SharePoint expert will have to build a template for your organization, and that template would be available in your from your organization section. So quickly we'll have another poll question, and then we'll again proceed with the next slide.
Okay, launching the poll question 3. So you will be able to see on your screen now. Yeah. So is it possible to customize Microsoft SharePoint site? You have yes or no. So we'll give you 2 minutes, maybe 30 seconds is enough. So you can just submit and then we'll close the poll. Once you submit, there is an option called as done. When you click on done, the poll screen goes off. So we have 28 responses till now. We have yes. Okay. So I'll just close this poll question. Okay, Anjali, we have results now. We have 100% yes.
So that means my audience are very wise and they have selected the correct question answer. Okay. So let's begin with how to customize your SharePoint online site. So as I was already explaining in my previous slides, that you can customize your SharePoint platform according to your requirement, according to your branding. So what are the ways to customize it once you're going for a SharePoint online website? And when we talk about SharePoint online website, why it has that intense role of creating your own website and then adding the data is because there are a lot of content in your organization. There are a lot of data in your organization, but those data, if not reflected properly, people won't be aware of that data. For example, I have code of conduct, I have policies related to my organization, but those data need to be reflected somewhere, right? So that the people inside your organization will be able to come to that screen, should be able to know or explore about the organization information which is relevant enough, and they do not have to go here and there for that matter, even to your HR. For example, if you're new to your organization, you can have an onboarding page itself where a new employee will come and will board to that will be redirected to that onboarding page, and they will have all the information over there itself. They do not have to go to HR for any single doubt also. So that's where having an intranet portal site is very informative and relevant enough for your advantage and for your usage. Okay. So here are certain tips. These are not like hard and fast rule that you have to do first this, then second, then third, and then fourth, and then fifth. There's nothing like that. I have just shortlisted it so that you can have a quick on go of what exactly you can remember or how exactly you can remember. So the first thing comes under SharePoint page is customizing your logo, which would be definitely on the top. So you can customize your logo, you can add the logo of your organization, then you can customize the navigation. So by default, SharePoint provides the top header navigation. So you can customize it, and you can change it. You can have different pages allotted to that particular SharePoint site, and those pages would be redirected by using navigation. So not everything you can put on one home page, right? There are a lot of data, so you can provide some customization, divide and split everything, and you can have something on the top itself, and then something at the bottom, some customization as per your requirement. Then we have customized theme. So all the organization have different branding color. As I said, color plays a very important role when you are creating your SharePoint site. So those themes you can select from different colors, and you can apply those theme for a proper or a smooth SharePoint site. And then you have page layout. So not everyone would have to prefer only the visual page or only the textual page. Some might even consider to have a bit of visual and a bit of textual data. So that is again depending upon your customer, your organization's requirement. And the last would be customizing web part. So web part, I have been repeatedly saying that whenever you have a SharePoint site, you have images, you have event, you have countdown, you have timer, you have embed web part. There are a lot of web part which SharePoint by default provides out of the box itself, and you can create and customize web part by using SPFX. So SPFX is a SharePoint frameworks, which is the technology used to create all the coding at the back end in order to create your personalized web part, I would say. Okay, so I'll quickly show you how you can, have a quick, what you can say, So this is my SharePoint site, which we have created a test site. Now, if I want to change a logo, so by default, whatever would be your test, whatever would be your site name, it by default takes the first alphabet and it add as a logo on the top. Now, how you would edit this page? This is your logo part. This is your navigation part. This is your page layout. Layout would basically consist of, as I said, visual representation, and then you have, textual content and visual representation. All that thing you can customize and change. And then you have a footer section also, which allows you to add certain footer information, which is always relevant whenever you have a site. For example, if you have an Instagram handle, Facebook handle, or Twitter handle, which you want your people inside your organization should be aware of, you can add it in the footer section itself. And some copyright messages saying that this is a copyright page and all that, so all that information you can add it in the footer itself. And then here would be your header, and then here it would be your logo and site name. So everything can be customized with one option. This is your site settings, which is a gear wheel option. And here you have a lot of options which provide you an insight of what exactly the site and site SharePoint site consists of. You have an option of add a page, add an app, site content, site information, site permission, apply a site template. Just in case, if you have, whenever we were at the landing page, if there you saw a window popping up asking for selecting a template, and there was an option of maybe later or select now. So I have selected from now. Just in case if you're selecting maybe later, so you can change a template from here itself. If you click on apply a site template, you will be again redirected to that same template page, and you can select a template as per your requirement. So for example, now I want this template, which is like having a lot of the page layout is basically into one third sectional. So for example, here the third one part is at the your right navigation, and the rest is at the left. So the content is as per your my feasibility or my requirement. I can select that and I can use the template. And again, apply, you can apply a template by clicking on just selecting that option, and you would be applying the template. So it just takes, as I said, it hardly takes few moments to apply a template, and the template is ready. So the moment you have applied template, the next step pops up over here itself. Just in case if I don't want to do it from here, I can just close the model window, and then I have an option of change the look. So the moment I click on change the look, I have all these options here only. So I can change the theming. It provides customized theming. For example, I prefer to have a gray theming, so I can, you can see the change. It automatically reflects the changes as per the requirement, or I can have a teal color, what you can say, theme. And I just have to click on save option. So the moment I click on save, the theme has been updated. And now I want to change the header. So here the header has this options: home, about us, new volunteers, training, and all that. You can have a standard version where your site name is on the top and all the rest of the option at the bottom. You can have an extended one where the entire one section is allotted to your SharePoint site and the rest to the bottom. Or you can have a minimal where a site name is already there and the content is next to it. And then you can change the background and theming. So for example, just in case if you want to change the background, you can change it from here itself. Or these options are already available. If you want to keep the site visibility, title visibility, so if I want to keep it visible, I can do that. Or else I can switch it off. Just in case my logo speaks a lot about my SharePoint site, I do not want a title also, because many of the time the logo itself has the company branding, so they do not need a name of the site. Then you have site logo thumbnails. You can change it from here. As you can see, by default selects a blank image, and you can change it from here itself. And then you have a site logo. So just in case if you want to change the site logo, as I said, logo will be here, and you can change or remove it, and then you can click on save. So this was all about header. Now talking about navigation, again, navigation is just like this format. The two types of navigation are mega menu and cascading. So mega menu would be appearing on the top, there where a lot of options would be appearing next to each other, and cascading would be just one below the other. Here it doesn't have a drop down. I'll just show you on another site or in another template where it would have. And then we have a footer section. Again, the footer is simple or the extended one, which provides the same way. If you want to add a logo at the footer also, you can change it from here itself. Any display name, any background change can be entertained from here itself. So these are like basic change the look option. You have option of change the classic look option also from your itself. So once you click on cancel, it would be changed and it would be saved. Whatever are your changes would be reflected the moment you do that. Okay. So this is like basic site how you can customize it or how you can change the top portions, the top logo, navigation, and then in order to edit the web part, you need to click on the edit icon of the SharePoint site, and the moment you click on it, you can edit the web part itself. So, and it's very easy. For example, if quick links I want to drag and drop, I can just drag and drop as per my requirement. If I want to add the quick links over here, I can do that. And as you can see, active program quick link is here. I want this quick link to be added over here. It's just simple drag and drop. So depending upon your requirement, you can drag and drop, and these are hyperlinks. If you want to change, you can change that. If you want to change a section, for example, this section I wanted to be into a double section, so it provides a section layout which is called even called as a page layout. So for example, you can have two sections, you can have two columns, and you can have these quick links dragged and drop over here itself. So like that way you can customize your page and use it as per your requirement, and you have to then click on publish option. You can even schedule a site launch. So for example, if this site belongs to a large number of audience and it is still under a draft section, so rather than publishing it right now, you can schedule a launch, and that time the site would be automatically launched. So you do not have to wait. For example, I want to schedule my the launch my site at midnight. I do not have to wait till midnight to launch it. I can schedule a launch from here itself, and that's it. The site would be launched. And you have to click on publish option to get your site published. The moment the site is published, it would be appearing on the home page, or once you click on this SharePoint starting page, it would be appearing over there. Okay, so this was all about how we can customize the SharePoint web pages and the web part. This I again intend to keep it over here. It just gives you a brief example of what exactly web parts are. So web parts are like the different elements which you can add on your home page. So for example, you can have a quick link, you can have a hyperlink, you can have some YouTube video, you can embed some YouTube videos, you can have some images, some file viewer, some document viewer, some textual data, some top logo, all that thing, all any highlighted content, any spacer if you want to add, you can add everything into this. And the web part information are available on this website. So I have listed it over here itself. Okay. Now, quickly jumping to the use cases of a SharePoint site. So by default, SharePoint provides a lot of use cases, and it is popular use cases of the SharePoint Online. I have listed it here, so I'll quickly go to each use case and I'll explain you a bit, and this would actually cover a lot of information about why we should use SharePoint platform and what are the use cases in order to explore SharePoint platform. So company often ask us about some of the popular ways that organization can use SharePoint technology for their needs, and below here are the some use cases which would highlight how easy it is to you for users to customize SharePoint platform to automate their business processes. Talking about the first use cases, that is document management system. So in most of the company, employees struggle to find relevant information or document at the right time. The IDC, one of the site, discovered that knowledge worker spends around 1.25 2.5 hours a day to, or roughly like 30% of their work day, searching for the right or relevant information. So SharePoint has the ability to help the organization to reduce the expenses by making their document easy to find. SharePoint is most suited as an effective document management system. This platform ensures easy creation, secure storage, fast search, and various document retrieval types, which includes even rare file extensions. And the approval workflow and the user permission system makes this document management more seamless and foolproof. So some other online features which I would say which would boost the system effectiveness would be assigning users access permission, or it has impressive storage capacity. So it has like 1 terabyte of organizational storage plus additional 10 GB per license storage in SharePoint Online. So that again depends upon what plan you are using. Then you have powerful indexing and metadata functionality. So there are certain functionality which automatically SharePoint selects. Like for example, certain metadatas are like modified by or created by. Those metadata you even cannot change it from your end. It is by default selected from SharePoint in itself, and it captures who has modified the file, who has deleted the file. So capturing the information about activities of their site is very important in an organization in order to have a proper audit log, you need to have a proper information what exactly is going on your site, who all are visiting your site, what is like the count of the people who are visiting your site, when is your site most active, when is the site not being used at all, what is the activity on your site. So all that report, all that usage data information are all populated in SharePoint platform itself. It provides different versioning capability, and the search functionality is very robust, and it provides a variety, or I would say a wide range of supported file types. So it support almost all the types of file. Now, talking about the second use case would be the enterprise intranet. So SharePoint is perfect for building, the enterprise level intranet and portal. So this powerful tool would, I would say, empower employees, boost communication, improve collaboration with the teams, and provide a seamless information from for your day-to-day processes. In short, it is like it has become a central repository for all the key information that the staff needs to be done. So SharePoint intranet feature, I would say, would include a basic like team and communication or hub site. So to support, collaboration across your organization, some libraries and list for, structured content management, some intuitive web parts and pages, and some ready to use add-ins and widgets, which it already provides, as I showed you when once we create or once we use a template. It has a flexible content sharing method. So sharing any files or folder is not that difficult. You have many workflows template already available, but you can use the custom workflows, which is like my last use case. And then we have enterprise wide search capability. Some you even can do a third party integration with your crms and erp, but again that depends upon what license you are using. And the third would be knowledge management. So a DMS platform, or I would say SharePoint knowledge management platform, is like all about finding right information, document faster whenever you need it. So the core difference between these add-ins is the content type and the relevance of the information. So once we use a DMS system, it helps to store and retrieve any information for any specific location. Whereas once you use SharePoint as the knowledge management, it helps users to find the information which are like that solves a specific problem or answers a specific questions. So, knowledge management of a SharePoint platform helps to build multiple departments sharing specific information with proper access right to each other. So users access permission, control the distribution of information to specific people in your organization. Suppose there are some confidential files which you do not want to share it with many people in your organization, you would prefer to have it in a location where only few people will have access to that particular file, right? So that level of permission matrix you can deploy. And SharePoint allows searching for knowledge and content, but just by file name. So if I'm looking for a file known as difference between OneDrive and SharePoint, so it even fetches the information where exactly the file is. Plus, it even find the information within the document. So if there are many document which has this keywords like difference between OneDrive and even though be it as a PDF also, it will fetch that word and it will show you on your search screen. So which individually helps a lot if you have to find any information and manage the portal. So now the next would be HR process automation. So HR process automation is like, as I said, in any company, be it any organization, HR plays a very important role. So SharePoint can automate certain HR processes, which would be like recruiting or employee onboarding, offboarding, professional training enrollments, or some introduction to your company policies or corporate policies, which you would SharePoint would like to administer. So it provides like scheduling and approving vacation if you prefer, or approving what I can say, employment contracts, or some payroll management, some managing shifts, or some registering sick leaves, or some empowering employees performance evaluation, some certificate management. So all that thing you can customize and use it in SharePoint platform. And the last is creating custom workflows. So Microsoft designed SharePoint with the business process management in mind. So it offers a wide range of options for, setting up, maintaining and executing workflows. So this includes like several built-in workflows for most common processes such as getting approval, collecting feedback, or signatures for that matter. However, customization of capability in SharePoint allow enterprises to create some custom workflows. So in just in case if you have certain processes which which are like customized as per your organization needs or requirement, which has a lot of approval metrics, you can deploy it with the SharePoint platform. And definitely creating custom flows may involve some sort of coding also. So it is advisable for, to work with SharePoint expert who can, help to build that complex processes into a digital workflow with proper user access permission, data integration, and email notification, and insight analytical dashboards, I would say. So in conclusion, if your organization of your company is already using SharePoint Office 365, it is vital to ensure that you know all the steps which you can use or tap the full potential of your license. So the benefit and use cases here mentioned would help you to understand the best way to leverage SharePoint to automate your business processes. So let me quickly jump to the basic of what would be the inside content of your SharePoint. So SharePoint consists of a list and library. I have been talking about a lot. Now, what exactly does it mean? So a list is as you go to a grocery shopping in your Walmart or in any in any shopping mart, you have a proper list where you just listed down that exactly what items you need to purchase, what items you're looking for, what is the quantity, what would be the pricing, any sort of information. You maintain it in an Excel sheet or any document which you would like to have an Excel database. Exactly, that is a list. So for example, consider a normal list as employee onboarding. So employee onboarding will have what entities: employee name, employee date of birth, employee joining date, employee probation period date, all that thing you can add it in a list format. Or for example, why would you prefer, if you have a list, why would you prefer to have a library too? So the basic difference here between list and library is a document library would be collection of a data or a repository. So for example, if you have an employee onboarding, and suppose if you have an employee name as Anjali, so that file would, or that document would have a lot of data about Anjali, all the data, all the information, all the relevant salary slips, everything you can incorporate and add it in a document library, which then would be divided into folders, and each folder would have a different salary slip or different employee letter, a different agreement document. So all that thing would be incorporated in a document library. So a basic definition, I would say, it is like, if you want to know about SharePoint list and a library in detail, so it would be like, it would be like a SharePoint list is like a table in a database or a table in a Excel, where SharePoint list will have rows and columns that will store information. Whereas when you talk about a library, it is also a special kind of list, but it stores document or a file. So we use library in order to store all the file, and a file would be like your Excel, your Word, your PDF, your PPT, all that thing would be inside your library. Whereas a list would be like a database or a table which you would like to add in your SharePoint platform and use that table, use that data. So just in case, if you have a option, whenever a employee is onboarded, you just add the name in a SharePoint list, and you want certain processes where it should run. Like the moment you add the employee name, your manager should be notified that a new employee has joined, or your HR should be informed that an employee has joined. So something like that you can use, and use that data, and further customize it by Power Automate. So that again will come to the next part. And the site content in SharePoint, it's basically having clear view of what exactly your site comprises of. So in your SharePoint site, you have lot of lists, lot of library, lot of task lists, lot of calendars. All those would be present in your site content. So let me quickly show you exactly how it comprises of. So the moment you click over here, you have an option of site content. You have to click over here, and you will be redirected to your site content. And by default, it provides a lot of option. It provides your site usage report, some site workflows which are already running. Currently, there are no workflows because I have just created the site, and then some site settings and recycle bins. So all those information is present. All this information would be present over here itself. You can have document, you can have library, event, and pages. In order to create a new library or new pages, you have to just click on new, and you have the option to create all those things. Okay, so now if I have to go to my next slide. Now, what is a calendar list in SharePoint? So calendar list is again a special type of a list it gives you a calendar overview. It has that calendar look and feel. So for example, if there are any events which you would like your organization or your people to know, so you can have it in a calendar view or a calendar format. Once they are on this view, they can just go through that list and view. You can use this calendar for any other usage also. For example, the use cases would be meeting room scheduler, or some event organizing of your organization, some leave planner also, or some vacation planner. So for example, if employees are planning for a leave for like New Year, or for any other functions or any other event, they can add their leaves prior into this calendar to have a quick view of so as I am an employee, I would like to know if I can take a leave in the month of May or not. If anybody in my team is also going on a leave in the month of May, for example, so I can just have a quick view of who all are going to take a leave in the month of May or something like that. It just gives you an event where you can use the calendar. Now, quickly, there is again another poll question. It will be appearing on your screen. Please answer that question. Let's see what exactly it is. So the poll question is like, what is the use of calendar overlays in SharePoint, and what is actually does to provide a visual image on the go or to merge multiple calendar for different site collection. Please provide your response into it.
Okay, we have 23 responses. So I'll be closing the poll in 3 seconds. Okay, I'll close poll.
Okay. Um, I can see 70 people have response that to merge the multiple calendar from different site collection, and almost 29% have provided the information like to provide a visual image on the go. So I would say that 29% people are correct, 71% people are also correct, but a small difference in the answer is you cannot merge different site collections calendar. You can merge on within a same site collection if you have different calendars, you can merge those. But if you're having two different site collection, that means two different site itself in its own, then you cannot merge those calendar. Whereas if your site is having in your single site collection, if there are different site, you can definitely merge those calendar, and it provides a quick visual on the go approach to have the information. For example, this image shows that there are any upcoming event, there are some admin event, there are some finance event, some HR event. You can have a quick on one-to-one overlays and have a quick information about exactly how or what all events are there. You can use it, as I said, in a different perspective. For example, you can have a planned leave, unplanned leave, business trip, out of office also options, or you can have some meeting room like as I said, it is used for meeting room or conference room scheduler. So for example, if there are like room 1 to 5, you can see on which day which room is already booked or for what time slot it is booked. So that way it is helpful once we use a calendar overlays. If I just give you a basic calendar like this, what exactly you can do? You cannot do anything apart from adding the data into it. But if I provide you a calendar overlay where you can have a color coded information and you can segregate the events and use it, so that you can use it via upcoming events via calendar overlays in SharePoint. Quickly going to permission management and SharePoint. So permission, as I said, it inherits from top level to the subsite level, and permission plays a very important role because it provides into document authorization in SharePoint. And as I said, it inherits from top level to the parent child level. So top level parent, whatever you will set it by default, takes that inheritance to the other subsite. And just in case if you want that this subsite, this particular file has certain data where it is confidential and it doesn't need to have access to all the people who are there in the rest of the site also. So you can segregate permission on this subsite level also. Okay. And by default, SharePoint provides three group: members, owners, and visitors group. Visitors have read access, owners have full control, and edit has members group will have edit access. You can create permission group on your own also as per your organization. As you can see, there is a group called as Excel service viewers. So this is the group which like by default which is like created by the organization. They have granted the permission as view only. So depending upon your requirement, you can segregate the permission and you can have a different permission matrix set up. And then you have a different permission access request settings also, where you can change the permission level, like whoever want to grant come to the access, who should be able to grant the access. So that also you can change it via access request settings. So permission matrix page will give you all the options in one go. Okay, talking about different types of permission level in SharePoint. So by default, SharePoint provides certain full control, edit, contribute, read, view, and other permission also, which SharePoint provides. You can set the permission on site, list, and personal folders, files also. And then SharePoint groups are owners, members, view, and readers, visitors. You can define your own view or your own group also, and you can use these two type. One, you can use directly add the users to the SharePoint site, or you can use the active directory security group also in order to add the users into a SharePoint site. So you can either create a group, you can set permission level, and where exactly you can set the permission to a site, list, file, folder, anywhere. You can break the permission anywhere, and you can create a unique permission setup over there. Then talking about compliance and data security in SharePoint. So platform security, as I said, it is maintained by Microsoft itself. So that is something where you do not have to worry at all, because it provides authentication at both the level, at rest and at a stage where you are already accessing your data, and it has a BitLocker at rest also. So for example, just in case if you're not accessing your data, still Microsoft is ensuring your data is safe, and it is safe and sound, and you do not have to worry about the data security or the platform security from Microsoft perspective. Okay, then it has secure access and sharing. So for example, your management will decide the access level. So for example, if your management feel that few people are temporary employees and they should have only view access, so that level of access, your management would grant according to the requirement. Then there are certain awareness and insight which actually provides you some reports. So for example, if I want to run a audit log report where I want to know exactly who accessed the particular file, or who travels to that particular location from particular file range, it automatically provides you audit log report generation, and it depends upon the retention policy of your SharePoint platform. So for example, if you have a 90, by default SharePoint, Microsoft provides 93 days retention policy. So you can track the activity of 93 days, by using the compliance matrix of the SharePoint platform. And and then the governance. So it is able to govern the life cycle of your data, which would include like creation of the data, then deletion of the data, and then how exactly you can restore that data. All that thing is managed and maintained by your organization with the help of Microsoft. You can explore this platform to the fullest. Quickly going to the next platform, SharePoint has a document management system. So SharePoint, I have already talked about all this thing. You have option for a report generation matrix. You have option for indexing and capability. So for example, by default, SharePoint provides you who has modified, who has created the file. Then there are search capabilities, which is like hardly in nanosecond it search the content inside your file. You can change the access as per your requirement by using the permission matrix of SharePoint platform. There is something called as version control. So for example, whenever you are creating a file, and if some other person is coming and modifying that file, so again it doesn't delete your changes, it creates another version of that file. Okay, so that is something how it helps you to maintain the version. And you can maintain for a single document, like you can maintain at more than at least I would say 5,000 versions. And it provides the flexibility of creating a major and minor versions also. You can create a draft and then you can publish the document. That is also something which SharePoint provides out of the box. And then creation and renew is something like, if you have created like employee onboarding list which you want to reuse it again and again, so rather than creating those again and again, what you can do is you can save the list as a template and then you can reuse it again and again. The moment if you want to create the employee onboarding for the next year, you do not have to create again a copy of it, and all that thing you do not have to do. And then you have notification. So for example, if you have If you have certain, if you want certain features, like if you want that any person who is modifying or deleting the file, you should be aware of it. So that notification is already provided by SharePoint with the alert me feature. So that is how it acts as a SharePoint document management system. Okay, so I believe we have last poll question. So let's just answer that full question, then we will begin with we are almost approaching towards the end of our presentation, so feel free to answer the uh, last full question. So the question here is, what are the features and benefits of SharePoint? It has certain options like flexibility, ease of use, simplicity, features, and collaboration. So
We have 17 responses. Okay, 21. We have 28 now. Okay, we'll be closing the poll in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
So yes, collaboration is the best example, I would say, whenever we are using a best feature, I would say, once we are using SharePoint platform, whereas rest of the options are also the correct answer. So here nobody is incorrect, everyone are correct. So that is exactly, how we can use SharePoint platform to the fullest and what are its advantages. So I'll just quickly dive into the advantages. As you are already familiar, you can store and organize information, you can find the right file, collaboration can happen anywhere. So for example, you're using a mobile or desktop, you can use it. You have multiple users, you can edit a file, co-authoring is possible, workflow is very easy, permission setup is something which allows you to use a SharePoint platform at an instant, and managing metadata is something which is very important in SharePoint platform. Talking about few other advantages would be like security. So it's not from security perspective, as it says, it's not safer to leave important document behind a firewall, okay, rather than sending them through emails and like kind of keeping your organization data in hazard to be lost or to be hacked. Then it provides single sign-on functionality. So you just need one sign-in for whatever you use for your Outlook, whatever you use for your team, the same sign-on you would use for your SharePoint also. Version history, already I have explained you. This I have added in the slide so that whenever you are going through the slides, you would be aware of what exactly we have covered from that image section. And then we have automations, which is like whenever we have automated flowchart, it removes all the labor or the guesswork or randomness out of the process. So you are setting certain processes, which is like a hard and fast rule for all the employees to follow it. And it, as I said, it removes all the guesswork within the organization. So here are certain benefits. Microsoft, it is in industry from past 18 years. So that brings a security level where, you are already using a platform, already the platform is installed, and the organizations are already using it from so many years. And even I would like to give you one more survey, is like according to Fortune 500 top organization, nearly like 83%, 73 to 83% of organization prefer to use SharePoint over any other platform for as a document management system or to create their own repository. So these are certain benefits which I have listed in a bullet point for you guys, so you can use it as per your requirement. You can have a quick go through of what all benefit would be beneficial for your organization, for your employees to use this functionality and use SharePoint to its fullest. Okay. Quickly going to the last part of our presentation, which would be like automation in SharePoint using the SharePoint platform. So I have added some list where you can just see, if you have an issue tracker, you can have a issue, you can have a issue description, you can have a priority column, status column. You can see which the task is assigned to whom, when was it reported, when was, how many days it has already been modified. So automation, you can add one issue over here, you can have to just click on new option, and a issue is raised, you have assigned the task to somebody. That person would complete the task and would provide the feedback, and depending upon that, the status would be completed or pending or in progress would be reflected in one go. Here is again another leave request form by using the Power platform. So for example, if you have an employee leave request, you can see who all are the requester, what are the type of leave they have used, what is the reason for leave. You can have a start date, end date, and the duration. And here it just quickly shows you if it is approved or not, and what is the status of the issue, of the leave. So for example, if the leave is a new, it would be new state. If it is rejected, it would be rejected. And if it is approved or pending, it would be reflected in the status column itself. And this again gives you some insight of how we can use as a IT request list or a travel request list. For example, if you have a lot of business trips in your organization and you would like to have in one go the information about it, so you can add a request like warehouse visit or World Connect conference, the reason, the requester who has raised it, what are the destination, what is the start date, end date, duration, which airline they are preferring, what is the estimate cost of it, what is the hotel, which is the hotel, which is the estimated amount, which is approved or not. So if it is approved by your organization, you would have a quick on go that, okay, my request was approved. Or if your request was rejected, you can have it in one go. And you're again an IT request, which I'll show you the demo also. And approval. Now, once you talk about approval, how exactly it is. So, for example, you will receive a Teams notification also, and you will receive a Outlook email also. So, in Teams notification, it would be like this. It provides you like your import is required, and status request. It shows like pending, and you can cancel the request, follow up the request, or reassign the request. You have option to reject and approve, and the email would be once you have accepted or resolved or replied, it would be captured. It would capture the time and date also. So that is something like it automatically does, and you do not have to worry about it. Okay. And then again on an email, it would be like this: a new request has been raised. You have option to approve and reject, and who has requested it, when was it requested, when was it approved. Everything would be captured in a format where you do not have to worry about the metadata of the SharePoint platform. And the last is different site. So here we have added some snips of the site. So you have already seen the templates, which where you can create different site. But upon those templates, these are the site which are like customized as per our requirement. We can customize it. Okay. And I'll quickly show you the demo of all that thing, and then we can wrap up the session. So I'll quickly jump to our Mtech official site, which we use for our organization. So we have like our tip of the day, we have certain countdown timers over here, and then we have certain announcement inside our organization, some news section. So here you can have one go what all announcement are there within the organization. There are certain news which we would like to have information about, certain events, certain climate update. We have many department, we have segregated those department, we have many links which we have added over here itself. Then we have document section which is useful for all the employees. We have a vacation planner. So in vacation planner we just add our leaves and whatever plan we are already having inside our organization. If we are planning for on leave, what are the, as I explained about calendar overlays, we use it in this fashion or in this manner, I would say. And then we have a Yammer section also. So in just in case if any discussion needs to be added, we do over there itself. Some GIF images and some footer, as I was explaining, you can add it over here. You can add the logo, some information about your organization on this format itself. You can change the look and feel on the top bar also. It's not the by default blue one. You can change it according to your requirement. And as I said, you can have a page like onboarding guide. So for example, when any employee is new to the organization, they can click on onboarding guide, and they can have a quick view of who all are the part of organization, what are the quick links, what are the information which they want to share. We have a knowledge session, which I said knowledge management of SharePoint platform as a use case. So there are a lot of training and resources video which are recorded time to time, and if we do not save those resources, it would be kind of lost, right? So we just add all our videos over there itself, so people can go through those videos in one go. We have about us page also, which we have created just to know about our mission, vision, and our values. And then once we jump into our homepage, we are even socially collaborative one. Organization is our socially collaborative organization. So we have a gallery section which have all the images about our organization. So whatever images we have, you can see from 2017 we have created a repository and we have added all those images. So if any information, if any images or anything which we want to share, if you want to know about our team, so we have already created a page for meet our team. So it just gives you who is our managing director, who is our vice president, or who is the HR person, or who all are there inside our organization. All that information is available in one site. If you want to know about our partners, so again, if we have added our page itself, where once you click on it, you will be redirected to that page, and that information will have what all documentation, or who is the person who is handling that document, or anything like that. We have created something for our organization to access it at the fullest. Okay, now talking about the explanation. So this is again another page which we have created as per one of our client requirements. So we added a Twitter section, we added some a section where news is added, some Yammer section also, which is inside our organization, which you can use, so something like that. And I'll quickly jump to IT issue tracker, which is an automation process. Again, it is as per one of the requirement from our client, where the requester's requirement was they'll just click on issue. They will add a issue, like for example, Outlook not working. And I have purposely kept all the question options, all the columns optional, so that you do not have to add anything extra. And then I do not know who would help me with this. So I'll just select my category. I'll select my category is IT, and I'm good to go. So that's it. The moment I save it, it by default goes for the approval matrix, and I'll be here. I have set all the approvers as myself only. I'll quickly show you a department list also, where I have added all the depending upon my category, all the approvers are selected. Here I have set myself only as the approver, so that I'll be receiving the notification in order to show you guys. Rest, you can change the employee name from here. So for example, in an IT or in a production, quality control, HR, any request which is there, you can select it from here, and you can set the approvers. Here it is a sequential approval, 3 layer. And just in case a first approval person is no longer in the organization, or on a leave, you can change the name here itself. It is like a master data, master list, I would say. So you need to update the master list, and that's it, you're good to go. So the functionality is quite simple. All you have to do is you have to create a new request. You have to see, as you can see, it says that pending from stage one approver. So I would have received a notification on my email also. Let it get populated, and I'll be notified on my teams also. So the moment I'm notified, I have option to approve and reject. Okay, then I even have a leave request list demo. So I'll just quickly open that also, and I'll raise a request. So as I said, you just have option to open this, and you have to put a title here. You can have a drop down also. So just in case if you want your employee to have a leave approval from a particular drop down, you can do that, or else you can have a title option. And you can see like emergency leave or anything like that, and some note if you want to justify that leave, you can do that. Your requester name, it by default takes the name of the person who have logged in. So here I have logged in, so it by default takes my name. You can add the start date, like I'm on leave from tomorrow, I'll be on leave till next week. And if I have any attachment, I have to just click over here, and I'll be redirected to attach file, and then I have to click on save option. So again, the process is simple. Once I click on save, it would go for approval matrix. Here also I have set myself only as the approver for demo purpose. And let me quickly jump to my IT issue tracker. You can see pending from stage one approver. I have received a Teams notification. I'll quickly go over there, and you can see I have received a notification on my Teams channel. Let it get refreshed. Then I'll even open my Outlook. So you can see I have received a notification on my Outlook also. So here it says that approval issue is raised, and the issue is Outlook not working. Who has raised this issue? When was it created? A new issue has been raised. Issue description. If I have added any description, it would be appeared over here. Kindly provide your comment while approving and requesting this request. And you can see I have received my email also of emergency leave. So a new leave request has been raised. Who has raised it? When was it raised? Start date, end date, and it calculates the leave duration. Kindly provide or approve the reject also. So we just open this request. On my teams also, I have received a request, and I can provide my approval from Teams platform also. I can just say that take rest. or anything like that, and I can approve the request. So it just submits my response. Now what will happen if I submit my response from Teams app? Will everything would be, I have been notified as the end user will be notified that, a request was it is approved, and I'll be receiving an email also. But once I quickly go to this platform, it says that it is refreshing and you have already completed this request. So it means that you do not have to complete a request from your Teams and from your Outlook both. No, you do not have to do that. Anywhere, any platform issue does that, it completes the task. You do not have to worry about that. Now you can see this is my the first issue. I would just say approve, go ahead, and I'll provide my comment. I'll click on submit, and I'm good to go. So the moment you provide your comment or the moment you add your data into it, it would be logged and you do not have to approve it again from here and there. Once you have approved it from one platform, it is automatically approved and it goes for the second stage of approval also. So you can see now it doesn't provide me approve and reject option because I have already approved this request from my Outlook, and it says go ahead. It was approved just now. Okay, request was raised 3 minutes ago. So it captures all that metadata, I would say. Now this is my second approver. I'll quickly go to my SharePoint list, refresh this page. So you can, even able to track. So it says pending from stage 2 approver and my comment, go ahead. Now stage 2 approver also, it's me only. So if I open my Teams, you can see Outlook not working, second approver. I'll be receiving an email also regarding the same. Second approver. I can approve or I can reject it from your itself. Let me reject it by saying KO, not okay. Provide more details. Okay, you can provide your feedbacks from your itself, and you can click on submit. Here you can use this use case for, processes like expense report, for reimbursement form, for your leave tracking, for your onboarding guide matrix, all that thing you can use it from your itself. Okay, so you can see it captured my comment, it provided my comment. So that is how you can use this platform in a manner where, in a fashion where you can use to find information more about it. So I wrap my session over here itself. And now we have a question answer session. So feel free to ask your questions and we are good to answer it.
Thank you so much, Anjali, for the brief, detailed explanation about the benefits of SharePoint, sharing the workflows, how it works, and I had few like I had answered few of the questions which the audience have asked. So I believe if you can see the chat, there's one question which I think was unanswered from that point of time, is like from Sumran, asking like you had showed the test AOTU site, correct? So whether it was a communication site or not. That was the first question, like the which was not answered.
Yeah, it was a communication site. I have created it as a communication site itself.
Perfect. I hope, Sumran, that answers your question. Then the next question, Anjali, you can take up is like 1 minute. The next question was how do you download the thread of the approval?
Okay, so the thing is that you can download it in an Excel or in a CSV format. There is an option to download it via that also. But just in case if you're looking for a PDF version, because many of the time client come to us asking it to get downloaded in a PDF section also. So the same approval matrix, we add again another step in a flow where, export to PDF option is there in SharePoint itself. So you export it to PDF and you download it to another library or another list where, you have all the approval thread in a PDF format. So that way it is possible. If you want to directly download it, so you have option of export to CSV and export to Excel from your itself. Okay, I hope this answers your question. And then you have can SharePoint be used similar to MS Teams channel where I can communicate chat along with collaboration. I'd like to attend a session for MS Teams. Okay, sure. We will arrange a session for Microsoft Teams also. And you can, I won't say you can use it completely because communication channel is a platform where, you are creating an intranet page and there you are adding up all the organization data. And as I showed you, you can, designate or separate certain sections and you can add those sections, whereas in Teams you won't have that option. You can definitely create channels in Teams app, and you can create projects, you can create to-do list, all that thing you can create in a MS Teams app. So now issue tracker will go as a approval matrix instead of a standard ticketing system. So Sharifuddin, to answer this question, this is a simple issue tracker where your the approval matrix is like it would go for a sequential layer of approval. Once the first approver approves it, it will go to the second approver, and once the second approves it, it will go to the third layer of approval. It is not an exactly ticketing system which we have installed. It's just a simple issue. So just in case if you have an issue like Teams not working or Outlook not working or some billing information is not displayed, some IT related issue, some laptop related issue for that matter, and you want it to get connected to a particular person for resolution, you need to go for a certain level of approval. Like for example, the first layer of approval would be the person to judge whether the question is relevant enough to go ahead, or else that person can only answer that question. So instead of providing a comment, I can answer that question. For example, Google is not working. What I can provide my feedback would be, please try clearing cookies and cache and browser history and try again. So that person can do the same task. If it is still not working, the end user can say that no, it is still not working. So that first layer of a person would escalate it to the second person and then the third person. Something like that we have created. It is again as per one of our client requirement where they needed a system because over there what employees used to do is they will raise all the ticket in one go only. They won't see if it is a HR ticket or it is IT ticket or a production ticket related to quality control. So they wanted a category over there where they will select a category, and depending upon the category the ticket would be redirected to that particular person. So there are like level of approval. Once the level of approval is cleared, then it would be addressed. Okay. In their scenario, they needed a three layer of approval matrix, whereas if you want just one layer of approval and then it goes to the assigned agent to solve the issue, you can do that also. So I hope I answered that question. How does team site look different from communication site? So talking about different, it is again a template based. So communication site will give you an option to occupy your entire page, whereas like if I go on click on communication site, it just gives you my entire page to edit it. Whereas if I open a team site, so I'll quickly go to and open my team site. So let me just open this team site. So if I open my team site, it just gives me an option of, a left navigation, some news and quick links. So I won't say it is a generalized information. This site we have created from our Teams app only. This is not created from a SharePoint site itself. And if you talk about communication site, it is more over a site where you would get a full-fledged page to, add and edit the content or, relevant information. There is not much of the difference, I would say, but as the example, or as once you click on landing page or once you click on create new site, it gives you a quite difference. Like you can assign a lot of co-authors, and here on communication site you have owners, members and visitors already listed. You can customize the page, and on home page like on team site, on that page you can have people who can come and upload the content and access it. Whereas on communication page, people can just have a look and feel and just have information in one go, and that's it. They're good to go. And can we download the session after we finish recording? Again, Pooja will answer this. How to move data SharePoint to SharePoint site. So yeah, move and copy is again option provided in SharePoint platform itself. So for example, if I click on site content and if I have some data over here itself, and if I want to move that data, all I have to do is a copy option already provided. So for example, let me click on permission audit report. And if I click over here, it just provides me option of move to and copy to. Again, these options would be enabled only as per the permission matrix set by your organization. So just in case if your organization has not provided your particular level of access, you might not be able to see these options. So I hope this answers your query. Is it possible to get access to this webinar to be shared among management? Again, Pooja will address this. Is it possible to remove permission users creating own site? Yes, definitely. Just make sure that you don't remove yourself once you create a site, because if you remove yourself, you are again locking out of the door where you can go inside and have the access. So permission matrix, the best example I would say is it is like a door where you can come inside, and then suppose if you have a lot of bookshelves, so all bookshelves will have different locks, right? So if you are allowed or if you're authorized, you can open those bookshelf without a lock. I mean, just you can go inside the door, you can open the bookshelf, you can access any file or any book. But just in case if you do not have access to the door itself, you cannot come inside. So that is very simple. You can create a site and you can remove all the other users who are not relevant enough to access your data. So you can use it as a private site also. But make sure you do not remove yourself. In that scenario, your site admin will help you to get you added in the SharePoint site. Okay. How many years back data of approved document we can track? Okay, so here the entire approval matrix is stored in a library format. So that library is the moment you do not delete that library, you will have that information. So for example, if you have created a library 5 years ago, and approval matrix of 5 years would be stored in that library itself. So it is like you have created approval matrix. That approval matrix is already added over here, and that unless and until you delete this entry, it would be there. So you can see it is like last year created data. So you can see the start date, end date. These are all created in the previous year. It is still there. Okay, so it depends upon if you would delete this data, it would be deleted. Unless and until you do not delete it, it would be there until your site is active. Okay. Whereas if you talk about flow, so once you have created an entry in a flow, it has a 30-day flow period, flow run time. So within 30 days, 29 days, if you're not responding on 30 days, it would provide you an email saying that this flow is inactive from last 29 days. If no response is received, the flow will be deactivated. So you need to make sure the flow runs every single month. Okay. And if you want to just store it as it is, you just have to change the permission to view only so that people should not come and modify or edit it. And you have to remove or delink the flow associated with this list. Okay, then yeah, as Jasmine has told, please fill up the feedback form. It is very helpful for us to know about. Okay, Shanoy, can you please give a quick recap on the Power Automate? Okay, which license provide 10 GB storage per license, 10 terabyte of storage? Yeah.
That I would like to answer Anjali later once you finish Shinoy's request.
Yeah. So Shanoy, giving you this answer, I'll just quickly recap this process. Let me go to this IT issue tracker. The process is simple. I'll be just clicking on new option. I'll be entering my issue over here. So for example, my issue is keyboard not working. Let me just, I'm just taking a very rough example, very basic one. You can consider it as a template. Okay. You do not consider it as a proper solutioning system. We are just creating templates over here for in order for our users to understand. Okay. Keyboard is not working. Any issue which you want to address, you can address it over here, and I can provide the description from yesterday. Kindly provide approval to issue new keyboard. It's as simple as that. Okay. And then priority, you can set the priority. It is a low priority. That means it is not that important. You can add the date reported also. You can add some issue source URL. I have added everything over here. Issue logged by, you can add the name. Suppose, for example, this issue is not for me, for one of my end colleague. So I can add it over here itself. If you want, if you will keep it blank, it automatically takes your name, the name of the person who have logged in. And now again, keyboard not working comes under IT category. So you can select IT. If you have certain HR related query, my leave was not approved, you can select the HR as the option. And if you want to add any file, submitting that request or as any billing data, you can do that also. You have to click on save. So the moment you click on save, it goes into a new stage. So that means the flow is yet not started. It will start when it goes to pending from stage 1 approval. That means it has selected the name. Now, the moment I submit this request, what the flow will do is it will go to my department list. It will see my category is IT. It will go to my department list, and in department list, it will check, okay, under IT, who is the approver? So it will select the first name. And the moment it gets the first name, it sends a notification on my Teams and on my Outlook. So the process is like that. Okay. And again, you can customize it as per your requirement. If you want that you should set the approver's name, you can do that also. So instead of selecting category, you can add the name who can approve this request. Okay, this again can be customizable as per your requirement. So you can see now it is in progress. That means flow has captured, flow is trying to connect with that department list and trying to capture the approver's name. So then it would capture the approver name, and it would be sending me a notification on my Teams. So you can see I have received a phone notification. I'll quickly refresh this page. So, it says that pending from stage 1 approval. Now it has captured the name and I have received approval on my Teams app. So this is the end approver who will be receiving this notification greeting. A new issue has been raised. Who has raised it? What is the description? If you feel to approve this request, you have to click over here also, or else you can approve and reject from the Teams app itself. It says that kindly provide your comment while approving and rejecting the request. Thank you in advance, something like that. A proper customization of email, you can do it from the flow. And then I'll be receiving on my Outlook also. So on my Outlook also, I have received the same email. I can approve it from my Outlook or from my Teams app. I'll quickly approve it from my Outlook saying that, okay, go ahead. That's it. And I'll click on submit. So the moment I submit it, again, the flow will capture my response. It will add the comment and, it would then go to my second approver. And the moment it goes to my second approver, again, a second approver will notify it. So here in this scenario, for example, if you have a request and you wanted to get it approved from your CEO, from your CFO, from your management, from your line manager, from your project manager, so you do not have to go here and there in order to complete any task. Okay. Now you can see it says pending from stage 2 approver, and I have received again another notification. This is the second approver. I have added in the email itself that this is a second approver. So now suppose my line manager is the person who would be approving this request. So my line manager is notified, okay, this request has been raised and the response is pending from me. And it has already been mentioned that you are the second approver. That means it has already been approved by the first approver. You can add a matrix also where you can add the comment of the first approver and all that scenario. You can track it. Just in case, you can add a reminder and auto approval system also. So for example, this request was raised and my second approver doesn't respond it. Okay, it's been like 5 days, he's not responding. So the flow will be still. Okay, so what we can do is, in order to overcome the situation, after 2 days, we can set a reminder from flow itself. So you do not have to, in a traditional emailing system, what would you do is you will go on the email, you will open the email, you will follow up on that email, you will write again another subject, I mean another content in the email saying that this request was pending from last 5 days, can you please approve or reject it? Here in this scenario, you do not have to do that. We can set a matrix where they'll be getting an automatic reminder also, and you can set days, like for after 2 days they shall get a reminder, after 3 days they shall be getting a reminder. So if I'm not responding for 2 days, I'll be getting another reminder saying that, hey, this issue is pending from you from last 2 days, could you please provide your required feedback? Just in case if you're not providing the feedback, it would be escalated to the management or something like that. And suppose I'll give another 2 days of deadline to approve this request, and if it is still not getting approved, it would be then escalated to my management saying that the request was pending from second approver, it has not been approved, kindly provide your feedback. If no response is received, the request would be auto approved or auto rejected, something like that. You can customize and then you can provide your comment from your. You have other actions also, like you can cancel the request, you can follow up, you can reassign all that task also, you can do it. And I can say that, okay, go ahead, something like that. I can provide my comment and again I'll click on approve option. So the moment I approve it, again the request is approved, and quickly refresh the page. So you can see it is approved by stage 2 approval. Now it will go to the stage 3 approval. Okay, so it is a sequential flow. You can make it as a parallel flow also. For example, the moment I raise a request, all three of them should be notified, and any person who responds would proceed the request, or else you can make it as a mandatory option. Like if all the three have respond, then only it should proceed to the billing department, to the finance department, to the HR department, or anything like that. So it is like a sequential flow. Okay. And again, this is the third approver email, and same request, same I would have received on my Teams app, on my Outlook also. So I can reject the request by saying not no fund available, something like that. Any response,
Yeah.
no fund
Uh,
available, and click on submit. That's it.
Thank you, Anjali. I think we have to wrap up the session. We have a few questions that need to be answered, and we'll just take 1 minute of your time and we'll wrap the session here. And also kindly quickly, please, fill up the feedback form, which will help us to analyze how the webinar went. And as promised, we will share the recorded session to you. So if you will just finish off with the last question, Anjali.
Yeah. So, okay, Imran, your question for approval flow, can we attach document? So yes, as I said, you have an option to attach the document in the flow itself. The moment you click on new option, you have an option to add attachment, and those attachment would be sent via as an attachment in emails. So that can be possible. Neeraj, your question is it possible to create task cross department where comments and attachment can be captured at every level till the task is not completed? Yes, again, this is possible. You can have a cross department, but you need to provide approver's name that way only. For example, if you're selecting IT category, the approvers are set, and you can have a matrix where once it is completed by IT, it should go to HR category, and then it should go to the another level of account department category. So that way you can, add a cross department wise section, and each comment would be captured and reflected in the list. Also, it would be notified to the end user also, and it would be recorded in the library also. Okay. And yeah, Pooja has already answered this. The moment you raise, yeah, this is one point which need to be completely addressed properly. That the moment you upload any attachment, so the attachment won't be able to get changed. So, for example, you have completed a Excel report. You are submitting that report to the management. That's it. You cannot change the report in between, because then there is no point of having an approval matrix in the system where you can change the report, right? So, for example, if you have a reimbursement form and you have claimed 1,000 rupees, and like 1,000 dirham you have already claimed, and at the moment it goes for the approval matrix, if you have the option to change it, so the management has approved for 1,000 dirham. If you have the option to edit it, you will change it to 2,000 dirham, and by the time HR receives it, HR will feel that yes, the management has approved for 2,000 dirham, and they will sanction 2,000. So that's why flow doesn't allow you to change the document in between. The document should be finalized, sealed, and that's it. Then you will proceed with the approval matrix. Okay. And also, can the approver attach a document? Okay, so yes, approver can attach the document, but here in approval, within the approval matrix, I feel there are no option to, allow the approver also to attach the document, whereas they can be a person who would be raising a request, and then they can attach the document. The matrix behind this approval matrix is a person will be completing a document, and then he'll be proceeding with the approval matrix inside the organization. So something like that you can deploy. Okay, I hope I answered all the questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anjali. And if you have any further questions, we can have one-on-one session directly. You can reach out to your account manager, and if you're new to Mtech, you can definitely drop us an email to info@mtech.a. I'll provide you the details in the chat section. And as stated, please quickly fill in the feedback form so that it help us to analyze the performance of the webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you so much, Pooja. And yes, thank you so much, crowd. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. And to answer one question, last question about the license part, which I believe Ajesh has asked. Ajesh, to answer you, the thing is we have a like business standard above business premium and business standard plans where which they give 1 TB storage data, okay, throughout the SharePoint site. And if you need to upgrade or add file storage to that, you can take a plan of like a $20 plan, which is applicable for 100 GB for for a month. That's the additional file storage if you need. In case you can take that plan as well. But business standard, business premium, and above plans like E3, E5, and other plans, it gives 1 TB storage for SharePoint. Adding to that, they give 10 GB per user. Let's say, for example, you have 100 users in that tenant. In that tenant, you will get 10 into 10, like 10 into 100, like 1,000 GB plus 1 TB, which is intact with your plan. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Ajesh. I believe other questions have already been answered by Anjali, and I would really request all of you to fill up the feedback form, which will help us, understand the and incorporate those feedbacks in our next webinars and sessions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I hope it made a difference. And really thank you, Anjali and Jasmine, for arranging and having a awesome session for all our audiences. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Rutendo, if you're still available to answer your last question, you have asked that the example you used for the management reimbursement, can the management sign and attach back the document? So here what happens, the management will open the Excel or the document and they will provide their comment, approve or reject. So the moment they have approved it, the attachment itself will be sent to the next level of approval. Whereas if you want to know a more insight about this process, we can have one-to-one call and we can discuss it later. Okay, just to cover up that part. Okay. I believe I have answered all the questions. So just in case if you guys again have some question, feel free to contact the number which is provided. Yeah. Thank you all for your time and my apologies for extending the session a bit more. So I hope it would be helpful for you to understand the benefits of SharePoint. So that's all from my end. Shall we drop the call, Pooja and Jasmine?
Sure, sure, Anjali. We'll sign off now. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everyone. Bye bye.